Good morning, wildlings. Starting my day in the forest in my little sitting spot by my maple trees. I was just about to say the silence is almost stunning. Odie is testing all of it. And this is kind of what I wanted to come on and talk about today, is that the answer is finding the ebb and flow in the chaos. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand, that it's not about just mastering life, it's about allowing for the chaos, letting it play out the way that it needs to play out, and just not fight. It's the one thing that with everything that I've ever done is learning to just let go. And here comes my beast. Oh. Letting life show you where you need to be. Letting the wisdom just come forward as opposed to seeking it out. I have my oracle cards today because I have a couple of specific questions, but I don't often use those tools that way anymore, because it's just way more fun letting your life unfold the way that it's actually supposed to, instead of trying to make it. And I think one of the things I have mastered in all of this time is patience. Like, patience of the saint. With my family, with my, community, with everything, even with, whatever this is, through my mediumship, through my autism diagnosis, through going back to school and learning what I've learned. It's still about patience every single time. It's about learning to have patience with my dogs and understanding that animal communication, there's a delay. They process this pretty much the same speed I process at, and I have a processing disorder, so it takes me a long time to integrate the information and truly understand what's going on. And I now have just accepted that instead of coming up with a course, in 2 years, it's gonna take me a decade to build it. And now I'm okay with that. Now I have the capacity to see the wisdom in going slow and not rushing and not forcing, because what comes is more your own. It's not influenced by anybody else or anything else. You start to really see the wisdom in your own words when you slow down. You start to see the wisdom in your own life and the lessons that it's taught you. But the only way to do that is to completely slow down and look at what you're already being taught. This is funny. What's the card? Durga. Karma. is the other one that came up. I used to be like really bitter because I used to be like, oh my God, why? Like, I'm doing all the right things and everybody else seems to be getting the stuff, or, you know, the answers or the accolades or whatever it is that you're searching for. It just always, for me, it always felt like it was ending up in everybody else's laps. And what I'm starting to understand now is that's just their time, like their timing. That's the way they process information. That's the way that they were able to get out their things. And I'm always going to be, and this is the part for me that I really struggle with. I'm always going to be ahead of the pack because I can see the patterns and I can see what's coming. But then for me to actually process that, integrate it, and then be able to give it to you in a way that makes sense takes a really long time for me. And I have just started to be completely okay with that, that I am now in this place where it's like, yeah, okay, everybody else can rush to get their magic out in the world. I'm just gonna slow down, because the one thing I have learned from the trees is you can do a lot from a place of standing still. And that's always kind of like shocking to me as an ADHD combined extreme. Sitting still is not something that comes easy to me. And I will tell you, if you have said to yourself your whole entire life, or even just through meditation, or, you know, taking some yoga class, well, that doesn't work for me because I can't quiet my mind. That's the point, fuckers. Sit still longer. Longer and longer. Like, this isn't a quick game. I always kind of like, even as a medium, I used to say to people, like, I'm all about the long game, man. You're never gonna see me move fast. I mean, sometimes it does seem like I take these like I feel like I'm in one of these quickening moments right now where everything's coming really easy and everything makes sense, and I can do stuff like this and it doesn't even like, the thistle. Ooh, I like this. Thistle is like, okay, we're gonna go into the shadow. The reason why I love this deck so much is you have the dawn and dusk. So you can, if you want like a deeper read into it, you go here. If you want a lighter read, you go here. Or you can read both. So let's see what the thistle says for us. Oh, I turned right to the page that's meant to be. Thistles may be spiky and unwelcome, but they provide valuable food source to birds and pollinators. And it is for this reason that the thistle card represents true fulfillment. Like the thistle, you have so much to give. The world around you is ready to give back. Your found family is there to help you on your journey as much as you have helped them on theirs. This joint relationship is the most emotionally satisfying of all. And the pleasure of providing for others is its own reward. Well, thank you. I think we're ready to be in community together and help each other, even through the spiky moments, right? Even through, like, we are abundant. There is divine nutrients in the spiky places, right? That's our shadows. I couldn't have asked for a better card. And this, like, I just come out here in the mornings and sit here and, you know, watch my dogs dig holes and forage for dandelion root. And I listen to the trees whisper, and I watch the clouds, and I see who shows up. It's really quiet in the forest today. not a lot of bird activity or any activity whatsoever, actually. I think there must be a storm coming because they usually go deep into the woods or they go hide right before. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather. What's it supposed to be doing? But I want to encourage you guys, my fellow wildlings, to find a spot on your property, somewhere, if you're at work every single day, find a spot where you can walk to within 2-3 minutes. So, or even like right outside your office door would be even better. Or if you can't find a place like that, if you're deep in the city, I want you to, you don't necessarily have to invest a lot. I got these are noise canceling earbuds, and I got them, I think they were 99 bucks. So these are skull candies. Get a good pair of noise canceling, and then find some tunes that you like, a meditation, if you go on YouTube, there's actually all sorts of forest therapy videos that's like a crackling fire by a river or a walk through a forest. You can find these spaces, but find one that feels incredibly comfortable for you. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube list, the music list, that I listen to while I'm sleeping because my brain doesn't defrag its hard drive naturally, so I have to kind of force it into that, and I use frequency to do that. And it's free on YouTube, so why not? So I encourage you to find a spot like this. I don't bring the same stuff out every day. You'll see in my images and my pictures that videos that I'm always like, I could be out here with a fire. I could be out here with a sleeping bag and be out here for hours on end, or I could just be out here for 5 minutes. And I posted a video the other day of me drinking my coffee. That was all I did that day. It doesn't have to be so rigid. And I think that's why people fail at this work so often, is because they put this expectation on themselves to be perfect, and nature's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Not even the Dalai Lama or whoever you aspire to be is not perfect. Nobody gets it right every single time, and we have to allow ourselves space for, oh shit, I didn't get to do that today. I'll do it for a little bit longer tomorrow. So go and find a space, create a space for yourself. My bedroom is like this little cozy cave, and I know if all else fails, that's where I can go and hide. So giving yourself the time and space to do some of these things, to even just breathe without somebody else nattering in your ear for 2 seconds, it's so important. And the one thing that finally clicked for me to make me realize that this is what I really needed was realizing that self-care is really about dedication to yourself. And that if you're not consistently doing this kind of work, for me, I have to defrag my hard drive. As a ADHD person, my brain doesn't do that naturally, so I have to sit and work through my thoughts a lot. So that I know that if I don't give myself the space and time, and I don't commit or dedicate to myself to do that work, my life is miserable. So to help myself, instead of putting it on, society, instead of saying, it's somebody else's job to fix my work needs to create accommodations, or my partner needs to be gentler with me, which I ask for a lot. it's our responsibility to do this work, to be in our bodies so we don't become dysregulated. And this is the kind of work that helps us get there. And you can find what works for you. I'm going to share a ton of options in the course, so you can see. And oracle cards is one way, journaling is another. You can have a conversation group once a week. You can, do so many different things. I used astrology, I used human design, I used so many different things to try to understand myself. And it wasn't until I finally understood my brain and how it worked, and that I was literally working against my body, that my body was never going to be happy if I didn't give it some sort of rest and time to work through all of those thoughts. And as soon as I started doing less and giving myself time for this work to be processed, for these thoughts to be just my daily interactions with my partner, even sometimes I get really mad at, and I did yesterday. I had to bring him a scone after I yelled at him. We're just not in the right rhythm, and one of us is emotionally dysregulated because we live together. None of us are regulated 100% of the time, our nervous system. So we get really jumpy and we get really edgy and we get really bitchy. We have to start taking accountability for those moments and saying to ourselves, okay, so my reactive state is to lash out or to give sarcastic comments or to, whatever it is that you do to kind of rile or poke the bear, and not help yourself. Like, I know if I eat tons of sugar, if I don't hydrate, if I don't have my mushrooms, if I don't do the things, I am horrible. I'm a horrible human being. And it's my hormones don't regulate the same way that most people's hormones regulate. So I've had to do all of this research to figure out, how do I keep, everything balanced throughout the day. My cortisol, like I take cacao in the morning and I put cinnamon in there and there's some mushrooms in there. And all of these things help me to regulate myself so I don't dysregulate, so then I don't become disruptive in my own life. And that is my responsibility. And I think that is one of the things that people are really starting to struggle with. We're realizing that we're divergent. We're like, oh my God, we need accommodations. And then we immediately say, well, y'all have to change to make room for us. And that's right to a certain extent, but then we also have to take responsibility for our actions. Just like a teenager. I'm going through this with my dog and with my teenager right now, and with myself, that I have to take responsibility for my actions. And if I don't go for my walks, if I don't do the things that make me feel better, I am going to be the worst version of myself. And I want to be the best version of myself. So when I do the things that I need to do in a routine or a ritual, I am a much better human being, and the world is a much better place to be in. And I smile a lot more, and I'm way more creative, and I enjoy my life, and I have way more patience with my kid and my husband. And life is good, and you can see the light in the dark, because all of a sudden it's just not this chaos constantly, that you can actually be the calm in the chaos when your family gets dysregulated because they don't actually know how to do this work yet. that becomes the second frustration once you actually get into the work and you're starting to see how simple it is, and then you're trying to explain it to other people how much easier life can be if you just manage your emotions and hormones better. And then people are like, oh my God, I don't want to have to do anything. So then it becomes this piece of just living that life and showing people through how you're living and how it's changing your life. And that's what I'm doing now with these videos and with my work, is I want to show people what it's done for me, that I have come from incredibly dysregulated. Like when I look back at some of my videos, my heart just aches. I love her. The barefoot medium, I love her. I know why she had to be created, and I know why that part of my life had to be that way. But oh dear God, she was so dysregulated, and she had no idea what was going on in her body, even though she thought she did. And now I can look at these parts of me and these parts of my life and not feel guilt or shame or overwhelm about it or try to make it better. I just accept it. And that is the biggest hurdle to overcome, is accepting who you are and accepting what you're capable of. Like I had to learn what my capacity was all over again. I had to sit back and say, okay, I can't run 3 businesses and parent an autistic kid and have a divergent partner. That's just not going to be good for my mental health. So I became a caretaker and focused on my family and started trying to show them the way. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm sitting in this space of, okay, I can either fight or I can start to create systems that work for my family so we can live in a natural rhythm together. And when one of us is dysregulated, the other one can help as opposed to hinder. So if you're looking for some more peace in your life, if you want to have more balance and ease, come and learn how to do that in the shedding. It's all about finding your own natural, energetic rhythms and your own way of being on this planet. And it's not going to look like anybody else's. Okay. Bye for now, wildlings. Go be wild, go be free, go live divergently. And if you need to express yourself, do it, because keeping it inside is just not good for anybody. Okay. Bye for now, wildlings.